Hey guys, welcome back to another digital art video by me, Juan Caparas. Alright, so this video is different than the rest that I've done in terms of digital art because this is actually my first commentary video on my very first ZBrush sculpture, Speed Sculpt. Okay, now what's the difference between a character and a speed sculpt? Well, it's kind of obvious. One is a character in which it is all rigged and ready to go for animation, while the speed sculpt one is just like it's pretty much like a practice piece, so I can hone my my sculpturing and texturing skills as an artist. All right, so the only purpose of this creation that you guys are about to see, it's somewhat like I said, it's more like a practice. Something to do in ZBrush because ZBrush is so much fun. It's an open-ended program for any artist out there. It's just a fun way to, it's like a little project pretty much. It's not as intense as a character, so I won't be showing any reference materials, stuff like that. This is just a sculpture that was thought of in the heat of the moment, and I decided to do it on the same night in ZBrush, all in one night. Okay, so I actually mentioned this on Facebook on the finished renders of this particular piece. When it comes to like speed sculpts and ZBrush sculptures, I will always show you guys how much time it took to create it. Alright, so this whole thing that you guys are about to see only took me 8 hours, which is actually quite pathetic because it should take me no longer than that. But as a 3D artist that's still learning, that's still honing my skills, I think this serves as a good practice. Alright, so as time goes by, with each new piece I do, I should be able to sculpt it really fast in just a mere hour or so. Alright, same thing with texturing. But to start things off, this is my first speed sculpt video, so I'm not going to show any reference. Alright, like I said, this was done in the heat of the moment. I thought of this in the heat of the moment and I decided to do it on ZBrush. Alright, unsuspectedly. So everything you guys see here was all done in one night, one day, 2 days even, broken down, all that stuff. Alright, so as always with my long videos, especially with my commentary videos such as this, even though this may not be as long as my character modeling videos with commentary, this will still have chapter skips in the description below so you guys can skip ahead. Alright, so anyways, yeah, that'll be it. Let's get started. Alright, as always, chapter skips are in the description. Everything else can be found in the description. Alright, let's get to it. Okay, so as my first ZBrush sculpture, speed sculpt, this is pretty much, the name of this piece is Together Forever. So this idea came to mind and I really wanted to do it in ZBrush. Alright, so as you can see here, I'm pretty much positioning the female into a missionary sex position. Alright, why a sex position, you say? Well, together forever, like throughout, the greatest artists out there have messed around with some sort of sexual theme at some point. Da Vinci, Bernini, the sculptor from Italy back in the Renaissance time, he sculpted a marble sculpture of the Rape of Persephone. You guys should totally check it out. That has a sexual theme to it, so no different than mine here. I'm pretty much messing around with sexuality. Alright, this is the union of two bodies together, two souls, a male and a female. This is why it's called Together Forever, because it's about love. Alright, of course you may not see love, you may see it maybe as lust, so it's all subjective, but my goal here is to make two people having sex. And hold on, I just got a text message and my friend he just ruined it, but but yeah, as I was saying, the goal for this piece is to make two people making love stuck together forever, which is the name of this piece in particular, Together Forever. So not only will they be melted together, alright, in terms of flesh, I wanted to tell a story. All right. So later on, you guys are gonna see me sculpt, or I'm sorry, you guys are gonna see me model the glass cage. Now the glass cage is emphasizing more on the forever part, the eternity part. You will notice that the glass cage later on, or the glass box, I mean, has no locks in it, so they can't be it can't be opened, it can't be closed. Like they're stuck in there forever. So not only are they stuck together forever in terms of flesh, you know, they're binding it together, but they're also stuck together in terms of, you know, location. Okay, so they're in this coffin, and they're inseparable pretty much. So the glass coffin is just a good, you know, aesthetic. It's a good addition to this weird piece that I'm doing right now. And also I wanted it to look inspired, or I wanted it to be inspired by Silent Hill. So if you guys are a huge fan of Silent Hill like me, some of the things that you see in Silent Hill are actually the same glass coffin, and rusted glass coffin that you guys are gonna see later on. So I wanted this to have like a Silent Hill vibe to it, because Silent Hill is awesome. It's good for any horror fan out there. So this piece is actually inspired by Silent Hill. So the theme is there. You know, in Silent Hill, many of the creatures are actually melded flesh together of people, you know. So like mine, same concept. It's just emphasizing on love. So this is what I had in mind. You'll notice that I actually took my male and female base mesh from a while back and positioned them in a sexual position, obviously, and then welded them together using Dynamesh. All right. So notice how they're in one piece right now. So right now I'm just sculpting the detail. Quickly doing this. I think this took me 4 hours to do, which is not bad actually. 4 hours of sculpting. So here I'm just using the clay brush, the clay buildup, to build the form, the flesh. I really wanted it to look like they were melted together, you know. And like I said, I wanted this to tell a story. So later on, once you guys see the glass, you guys are gonna see some handprints. So what that is telling you indirectly is that these people were once normal people, and something made them like this. Maybe a fire broke out and it caused them to look like this, maybe, you know. So stuff like that, you know, storytelling elements. It's a good way to add character to your character. In this case, this isn't a character though. This will not be rigged, so you guys will not see this in Maya, that rigged. But I will still show it to you guys on Maya at the end of this video. But yeah, it pretty much started out in ZBrush. This is really fun. You know, it's just a good way. Speed sculpts are a good way to get to know ZBrush, as well as fine-tuning your skills as an artist. All right. So like I said, this doesn't. I didn't use any reference here. Like it was all done at the heat of the moment. Like I just wanted to do something in ZBrush, and this is what I came up with. I wanted to create a sculpture that symbolized love, and maybe even lust. You know, rape. I don't know, but it's mostly love, the unionship of two people stuck together forever. So this is pretty much what I came up with. So here it is, just taking shape. Sculpting this was really fun. Like I said, I really wanted it to look like they were bound together forever. So this was all done without using symmetry. So I'm just going through each and every crevice of detail, sculpting it out. So here, when you're doing Dynamesh, a good thing to keep in mind is that we're not dealing with subdivisions, okay? I mean, technically we are, but it's not like the traditional way of doing subdivisions, which is by levels, which is something I usually do for my characters. When it comes to speed sculpts, I usually just use flat out Dynamesh and just, sculpt away. Later on, I'm gonna retopo this and UV it, so it can be ready to use for production if anyone wants to use this for, video games or anything like that. So like I said before, just a reminder, this will not be rigged, so this will not be moving in any single way. The mere purpose of this piece is just for me to practice sculpting, practice rendering, practice texturing, alright? So rigging will not be involved. This is just an aesthetic piece that I would like to do, just mess around with, So that's pretty much what a speed sculpt is. It's just a sculpture done pretty fast, usually in the heat of the moment. So again, this is not a character. So I'm just adding more wrinkles right here. Some gooey elements, I should say. It's cool because it's really subjective. Some of you may see this as love, or some of you may see this as a rape, or lust. So it's really cool what art can do. It's really subjective. Anything can happen, or it can look like anything to anybody. Here I'm just adding the details now. So I'm adding some deep crevices on the wrinkles. I believe I'm using the Damien standard brush, the Dam standard, just so you guys know. That's a good brush for detailing. And also, the one thing that's important about this particular piece, Together Forever, is the silhouette. Since I wanted this to look like two people having sex, you kind of have to get the right silhouette. So I've gone over what silhouette is on a past video. I can't remember which one it was, but a silhouette is pretty much the positive space of the thing you're doing. So for example, if this whole thing was black, would you guys realize that it's two people doing it? So you could tell that the legs are spread open and someone is on top. That shape alone is important because you're trying to, again, this is a sexual oriented piece. You kind of have to get it right, you have to get it right in all angles. So silhouette is important, guys, because it will ground your piece. All right, it will make your piece believable on all angles, and you'll see what I mean later on once I show you guys the rendered images. Definitely looking good so far. It actually looks like it's wax, it's like a wax sculpture. And like I said, art is subjective, so this will all be out of flesh. This will be rendered into SSS in both Maya and in KeyShot, so trying to get the flow right of all the wrinkles, the direction. And we're almost done with the sculpture, guys. Always gonna include some warts, but then again, it's gonna destroy like the base piece. I want this, like, I don't want to add too many things on this and make it look too ridiculously detailed. This is just a simple practice sculpture made out of flesh, you know? So notice how there's not a lot of detail on the guy that's on top in terms of, you know, there's not a lot of wrinkles going on his backside. Notice how no matter what angle you guys are looking at this, you can obviously tell that it's two people doing it. So that's what I'm talking about when it comes to silhouette. And we're about to enter the texturing stage right now. So you guys are about to see this textured, alright? I'm not sure if I include footage on me creating the glass coffin, but you will see that textured too along the way. Here we're adding some, I'm not sure what I'm doing here. I believe I'm adding some bump. Yep, that's what I'm doing. I'm adding more, I'm making it more detailed in terms of texture. So here we are, painting the skin on it. As with every single digital art video commentary I've done so far, the texturing goes by real fast. So be sure to watch this again if you guys missed it or something. So notice how fast that was. I'm masking out the crevices, so later on I could add, you know, more color to this particular. So there you go. See, it's done. Texturing is it's so fun that it's simple. It's like airbrushing a mask, but it just goes by a lot quicker. So here's what it looks like all textured with different variations of skin tone. I actually use real pictures of skin, so looks good. Varying some tones. Adding the red. This will actually look really good once rendered. You guys will see in a second. So pretty much here's the body all textured up. This too took 4 hours. I wanted it to look just right once it's being rendered out in SSS. And here we are. Now we're about to see the glass coffin. So here I'm texturing the glass coffin. The glass coffin was actually modeled in Maya first, and then I added the textures on ZBrush. So notice how I got that Silent Hill feel going on. Everything's rusted. The glass is stained. I add some blood stains too. And here it is, guys. Here's the final piece, all finished and rendered in Mental Ray and Maya. Here's a turntable. So there's the textured, and we're slowly transitioning into the ambient occlusion. So those are all the details. Notice the rust on the framing of the coffin too. And we're slowly transitioning to the wireframe, which is really important. I don't know why I didn't do this in my past models, but it's important to show the wireframes. So it's proof that you could, you know, implement this to other things. So here it is again. Notice the detail of the glass, the handprints, the blood stains too. Here's the ambient occlusion. And here's the wireframe yet again. I had to bump up the poly count on the two bodies because like there's so much detail going on that I kind of want to preserve that. So I bumped it up. I bumped up the poly count. So here's what it looks like again. Let's go through this one more time so you guys get a better look. Here's the quick turntable. So this is what I'm talking about when it comes to silhouette. Look at, no matter what angle you guys look at this, you could obviously tell that's two people having sex. So, you know, silhouette is important. And that's pretty much my goal. Alright, now here we are. We're still on the renders. These are the renders in mental ray. These are the character turnarounds. There's a side view, the front view, and the back view. Here's the topology, the wireframe. Here's the top side. So again, this was rendered SSS, subsurface scattering. It's the material that you would use for flesh. So again, here's the wireframe. And here's what it looks like without the glass coffin. So there's the blood. Notice how the blood is shiny. I figured out how to create reflection maps, right? Or specular maps. So I implemented that technique here on the blood, and it looks really awesome. Here's the wireframe yet again. So look how slimy that looks. So it took a lot of tweaking actually in Maya to get it just right. So here it is in KeyShot. Look how, and this is also edited too in Photoshop. But the rendering is done in KeyShot. Look how good that looks. Very slimy. Added some dark effects to make it very demented, I guess. Very dark. So I don't know about you guys, but I like Silent Hill, and I like implementing some Silent Hill stuff to my pieces. This being one of them. This actually got a lot of complaints on my fan page because, you know, it's very vile. It's very sexual. It's kind of funny because there's no nudity in this. Where do you see a penis? You know, where do you see a vagina? Where do you see breasts? There's nothing on there that indicates nudity, you know? So that's what's funny about it, is people are complaining about it, but I don't see nudity there. I mean, you obviously see two people doing it, but it's a really abstract piece, I should say. And it can go both ways, depending on how you look at it. So here's the KeyShot. The KeyShot is really good at what it does. And to finalize this video, we're about to move on to Maya, so you guys can see what this looks like in Maya when it's not rendering, or when it's not rendered. It's a good shot, by the way. Good. Typical side view. Here's a close-up of it. Once again, very slimy. I mean, it's made out of flesh. What do you expect? So there's the final piece, guys. I like it. This was done in just 8 hours. My timing on these sculptures will obviously improve over time, so I'll be able to sculpt anything pretty fast. Alright guys, so here we are in Maya. Even though this is just a speed sculpt, I'd like to show you guys what it looks like in Maya before it's being rendered in mental ray or anything, okay? But here's what it looks like in Maya. Notice how everything's there. I'm using viewport 2.0. I hid the glass because, I mean, it's a glass. The reason why I have it like this is so that you could actually see the textures of the glass. And notice the handprints right there, the dirty glass, the rust on the frames. So everything's there. And let's look at this close up. So here's what it looks like close up. This is actually a very familiar angle because you guys just saw the KeyShot render with this similar angle. Notice the blood. This is what I was talking about. The opacity map and the reflection map. Notice how the blood is the only one that's not transparent, because it's blood, you know. Blood is not real that transparent compared to glass. So I created a way to mask that in terms of opacity. So I implemented that in there. Also, here's the topology, the wireframe for the two bodies together. Notice how everything flows. This is why I really like ZBrush, because there's so many things in there that will help you on your model. It really was just a simple button click of Z remesher to retopologize everything and preserve its details, as you can see right here. So yeah, that's that. Again, no rigging for this one, so it's just a static piece, you know, it's just made for rendering. But yeah, that's that. As you can tell, I really got the look of two people doing it, and you know, it's a quick speed sculpt. Took 8 hours to do. It's a good take on love, you know, to get, if love is real, if love is proven real, nothing can separate two people. And you could have to tell here, I took that literally. There are two people right here, bounded together as if they were melted together, and they're inside a glass coffin in which they cannot escape. So love, together is forever, or together forever, that statement, I took it in a very horrific way, in a very dark way. So that's pretty much how I work as an artist. And it's really cool. I might actually have another piece similar to this real soon, but we'll see. Alright, so that's it for this video, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. It's a really quick video on how I made this, so I'll definitely start posting more of these soon too, aside from my characters. Alright, as always, show your support by liking this video, favoriting it, and sharing it to other people that may be interested in this. Please show your support by also liking my fan page on Facebook. That'll be www.facebook.com/Juan and also please check out my website. That'll be www.juanfischercaparas.com. In my website, you can see all the projects I'm currently working on, all the masks I've done, all the videos I've done. My website is pretty much the main hub of everything I've done as an artist throughout these past years. Alright? Also, if you guys have Twitter, please follow me on Twitter. That'll be twitter.com/evilsaw13. And Twitter is what I use my Twitter for, like, you know, updates on my art. So if you guys have Twitter, please follow me. www.twitter.com/evilsaw13. And as always, everything is in the description. If you guys want the symbolism of this piece, it's in the description. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy this. Again, show your support, check out the links below in the description, and I'll see you guys on the next video.